prisoner for AMC.
God, I knew it. I knew it. I was thinking it. I was already hearing it in my head. I almost said 30 seconds.
Prisoner for AMC.
I found it in my arm! I put it there! Why would I put it there?
Kindness.
Kindness! You stole it! He stole it! No, I didn't!
Lounge done.
30 seconds.
Are they still doing that show?
Yeah.
Really? Because I had heard, and I thought justifiably so, that this thing was long gone. I mean, I liked it for a minute. You've heard the expression hot minute? It was more of a lukewarm minute.
C'est le Lounge Show avec Rob Scott et Bob Doyle, deux diffuseurs vétérans qui aiment s'entendre parler et qui réussissent d'une manière ou d'une autre à se supporter. Voyons si vous pouvez les supporter aussi bien. Voici Rob et Bob.
What is that you're saying?
Yes. We're loungeable today. We are a pair of loungeables.
That's right. I'm loungeable number 1.
And I'm loungeable number 2.
And I'm
which
only
means-
loungeable number 1 because I said it first.
Yeah. Well, and you also pretty much do all the work for this.
Except I don't play the part of Rob Scott. Oh, sorry. I talked all over it.
Stepped on Billy Joel. That's not good.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
So yeah,
It sounded
it's
quiet.
lounge
Let me
time.
try it
It's
again.
9 o'clock on a Saturday.
I would have never sent that to you.
Monk. The dead. It's like they tuned all the other keys except for that one. And it's not really out of tune. It's just that's that dead echo. It just, I don't know. We've talked about it ad nauseum.
Yeah, ad nauseum. No one subtracts nauseum though.
No,
They just- they
Rob,
add it up and
no
add it up.
truer words were ever spoken.
Yes. And so here, this is the lounge. Bob and I do this every Saturday, 9 o'clock, and no one watches. No one consumes it because we're insignificant. We're nothing.
Let me tell you something. I was just talking to Tracy about this, and this is the most regular broadcast I've ever done. I've done Bob Doyle's show. I've done, back in the day I was doing, weekly Q&A thingies, but not for 4 years
Really?
plus. This is the most and still we're insignificant.
Yeah, we're insignificant. But you know what that reminds me of when you see Tracy's here. Yay.
There
Tracy.
you go. There she is. I thought my comments weren't working, so she proved
No,
me.
they're working fine. But that also reminds me of when I left when I was at iHeart. So I was working at iHeart all those years, right? And it dawned on me when I left, or was asked to leave. I was voluntold to leave. Is that I used that restroom on the 7th floor
On purpose.
more than any other restroom in Atlanta, at home, in college, ever. There was no place I went to the can more than that gray, dull, crappy bathroom on the 7th floor. Because when you work somewhere 26, I mean, even here in town, you move every 4 years, 5 years, you get an apartment, you change houses, you whatever. 26 years of using that gray, dull, awful bathroom. And now Bob reminded this is, did I lock up?
Yes. I forget about this every freaking week.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today when I was driving home. I said, Bob and I said we were going to change the platform.
We've
for
only
our
said
one
a
fan.
1,000 yarn.
Yeah. For our one fan, for Tracy. So I don't know where I was in the story, but the point is, your point that you've done this show more than any other show. Similarly, the bathroom at iHeart. And I thought of the platform too. Where was I today, Bob? You ask. I will tell you. All day long, I was helping Samantha move into their new home.
Mm-hmm. I remember this was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true, Tracy. We don't promote the lounge show.
Because why?
I don't. But you're right.
Why?
Right.
Why
would I ask
would
anyone
anybody?
to do this?
I was
right?
thinking earlier about how when you used to prepare, you'd do these written things.
That's true.
Play music or whatever. And then I
Yeah,
was like,
I
you know what? Let's not do this. It's too much,
You did some. You had prepared pieces too. as I
maybe,
recall.
maybe not, but not
Tech
as many.
Corner or whatever, it was something tech or
Tech,
something.
app.
It was something.
Yeah,
you
whatever. Oh,
did. But I was talking. And a story came up this week because of moving week
okay.
at Sam's. First of all, let me ask you this.
All right.
They took possession of their home on Tuesday, and they were moved in Tuesday. Have you ever heard of that in your life, where someone took possession?
Like they closed and moved in.
All moved in, like everything, as far as the bulk stuff, right? The furniture, the washer, the dryer, the big move. They just decided to do it that night. So this weekend has been more dedicated to hanging closet hardware and, and organizing. Obviously, it was just boxes everywhere. It's just an S show. But the point is, I've never heard of anyone taking keys, taking ownership of a home, and literally being in there that night. And a weeknight, no less. They were both work. Oh, no, they took that day off. So, but then
I
the rest
have
of
no
the week,
idea. I don't know.
But I will tell you this: that so obviously a lot of moving talk occurred from me at work, and the story that came up and still gets a good laugh is the Ray Deemer story, and you were there, you were a part of it. Yeah, we are professional broadcasters, Tracy says. But you were there, man. I told that story, got a great laugh again. When Bob, when can we? At what age do we get to stop doing that? And Ray did a walk by, and I think it was 47, maybe, and he had just turned 47, and just kept walking. And boy, was he right. I think it was 106 that day, and you and I had a refrigerator on a hand truck.
But then that reminds me, though, it reminds me of your story with Steven and the dog poop, which is one of my favorites.
It's a good story. And I also brought up, that's a really good story.
Would you
Just
like
throw
to
over
tell
the-
it to the folks at home, ladies
Well,
and
no,
gentlemen?
I'll
I
tell it to
think they'd
Tracy.
like to hear it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're doing this bit right now.
Yeah, that is. And look at that. I got injured today. I look like crap. You know, when you do physical labor, you just look like you get all the.
Don't I know it?
Don't you know? You don't know it. Bob, you would drive to the bathroom if you could. So here's the story, but that Bob wants. Stephen, my son was, I don't know, 10-ish. Let's just go there.
Anyone?
And right, and so we had two dogs, and he was going to inherit the shoveling of crap detail in the house. I was done. This is why you have young boys, is that they can take over the mantle of literally shoveling shit. And so it's a twofold story. I have to tell the front part first, where there was a lot out there. I had not gotten to it in a while, winter. And so I said, I'll help you today. And then from now on, if it were me, Stephen, I would do it daily, 2 dogs, you go out, zoom, zoom, and you're done. But if you let it stack up, you won't. Anyway, we were out there, and he wanted to get a soda. And he went up to the upper deck to go into the kitchen. I was still down on the backyard lawn. And he comes out with his soda, and he looks down at me, and he says, so, you did this when you were my age, Dad? And I said, yes, Stephen, I did. And he said, when do you get to stop? And I go, I'm shoveling crap right now. And the look on his face, like, oh no, like yes, yeah. So that was half the story.
I remember it being a little simpler. The punchline, a simple, I'm doing it now. I didn't.
Okay,
the shoveling crap right now seems like an add-on.
It probably is an add-on.
I like the pure. I like the pure one better.
You like
because the question
version?
implies that you're shoveling poop. I mean, it's an economy with words thing.
Which
you obviously have a grand economy with words.
See, I speak.
I look forward to your next syllable with great eagerness.
Yes. You'll find it behind the can of unused shaving cream.
I had her watch that. I had them watch that.
There it is. I even wore your shirt today, the one you got me. I speak fluent movie quotes.
Wow. When was that?
Oh gosh, a long time ago you bought me this shirt.
Was it in the 2000s, I guess, right?
Could have been
like between
2
2 and 10 for sure.
Okay, could have been late 90s. We met in 91.
No, okay, yeah, yep.
We
that
met
seems
in 91.
I know. Well, then you're right. It
Nice
probably
time.
was that.
Yeah. And I don't wear it much anymore because the
letters are coming off.
yeah, that's starting to. Speaking of things breaking down, 2 pair of shoes, good work shoes that I like to go do. Both the soles came off, like Tom Hanks in Joe versus the Volcano. I lost my sole twice. I had to throw out 2 pair of shoes this weekend, Bob. I have to break in a whole new pair of worky, you don't mind getting paint on them type shoes.
Well, I think what everyone wants to know is, how is your car?
The car, okay, first let me finish. So the Steven story, because the back end of it, which we did not tell, is the fact that I said, he goes, what do I do with all the poop when I'm, and I just go, throw it over the fence. Because we had a fence, and then there was a lot more just, wooded area. And I said, just toss it over the fence. And this would have been what? This would have been in the spring or summer, because there was already foliage on the trees. And next fall, the leaves all fell, I look up at the trees, and there is a garbage, like a Publix bag, just swinging from a branch, and I don't know what's in it. And it's odd. It's way up there, and it's a Publix, and what is that? And that's Steven we literally had a bag of shit in our trees. It was a bag of poop in the trees.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to tell that story without telegraphing the ending.
Well, but you asked me to tell it.
No, I'm just saying, I know, I've heard it a lot, and we all enjoyed it very much. I'm just saying now, afterwards, it's like a post-mortem, a debrief of it. It's like, how would you tell that joke? Actually, all you do is you say, and I look up, and I see a bag, and that's the end.
That's it. And then we hit the traffic bed. We go to traffic.
Right, and it's just for those people who can fill in the freaking blanks. It's not that hard.
Agreed. I have stories like that where they have to fill in the blank, and it is fun to watch. And you can tell a lot about your audience, what level of humor or what type of stories I'm going to tell, depending on, like the Santa Claus. How come the angel's on top of the Christmas tree joke? You don't tell the punchline. So you ask people at Christmas time, I do, right, why is the angel on top of the Christmas tree? And then you tell the story. Santa woke up, bad day, reindeer are sick, Mrs. Claus is in a bad mood, the elves are on strike. You tell the whole thing, and then you say, along comes the angel, and she goes, Santa Claus, where should I put the Christmas tree? And then you just look at the person you're telling it to, and you go, now let's see what you're about.
That's right.
And if they go, go
and
on.
is there any reports that get filled out?
Right. So then you can tell, okay. So the car, it's running and running and running, just like a car is supposed to do. But I will tell you, even on the drive home today, Sam lives about 14 miles up the road, their new home. It's a nice home, too. I really like it. It's all brick. It's a ranch. It's very nice. We need a production team.
Sure, for all of our...
Well, I could use a makeup team, too. But I look awful every week. I look awful.
I got windy Mountain Head. We went to the Exploration Peak Park where you've been, and it was very windy, as it always is. We climbed to the top, and then I got home, and it was like time for a show. And I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, well, I can't fix this. I don't have time to fix this.
I took a shower because I hung closet stuff today. That wire stuff. Yeah, but there was no shelving or any dowel rods or anything in these closets.
Yes.
And so and those are a pain in the ass to deal with, and just, and then knick-knack shelves, and I popped for the Home Depot run. I was generous dad today. Bank of Dad is still open, Bob. It is still open, and it's shelving and just toilet brush. It's that thing, But anyway, the car's running fine, although I still have PTSD. I still sit at a stoplight and I go, I think it stopped.
Oh, me too. Oh my God, I can't imagine. That's going to be with you for ever.
It's going to take a long time.
It will.
Really, it goofed up my noggin, man. It really did. You don't trust the car for 4 months. This isn't 4 days. It was 4 months. They sent it back to me 4 different times saying, here it is, Mr. Scott. Your car is good to go. And it wasn't. And now every time I'm driving to work, the same stop signs where I was, or the same left turn where I go, even tonight, twice sitting at a stoplight, just going, it might die. No, it's an entirely different car. And I actually took it into mechanics last week just to have them do a once-over, because you get like 10 days at CarMax. And so I had to tell, they go, it's running great. You're in great shape. This is a smart buy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And yet I still sat at the...
No, I so feel that in my body, because I have similar things. Like, before a computer crashes and certain things, like it was happening at a certain time, and then you fix it, but you're still waiting, for that whatever. So I totally know that feeling. And the car is the worst because, you're out there.
It really, and I sit and I go, I like today, it's just uncomfortable still. Plus, it's a little uncomfortable because you keep thinking this isn't your car. Like you got that feeling. Like I've only driven it a couple of weeks, but I went through 6 loaners in that 4-month period. I drove so many different cars, so I'm just like, meh. But I will say this, I think I touched on this last week. I don't give a rip like I used to about what I'm driving. I just want A to B. It'll be fine. I don't care as much. I'm not into the whole, take that CarMax sticker off the back. I could give 2 craps anymore. I don't care. It's a car. It's
Why would I give them free advertising?
Well, that's what I've said for 50 plus years, Bob, because Ralph said it too, and I agreed with him wholeheartedly.
Sure.
In fact, he used to tell that to the guy. Take that off there. Well, Mr. Scott, this is where you bought it. And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. You put my business cards out here. I've told you this story.
Yes.
And he says, and then he sold insurance. And he goes, everyone who buys a car here, you tell him I'm the best insurance man in Chicago and hand him one of my cards. And I can keep that sticker on the back of my car. They go, well, no, we're not going to do that. And he goes, yes, that's right.
And they said it just like, we're not going to do that. That's how everybody talked.
Well, you've been to auto dealers before.
Right. Well, you got to talk like that. Welcome to the auto dealer. What kind of car do you want to buy?
That's right. That's how they talk.
A fast one. That's pretty good.
That's right. So anyway, I don't care. But it's running just fine. And of the 5 cars that were in Samantha's driveway today, everyone was over there helping, putting in fencing, everything. There was a lot of moving parts, and the bird chose my car. It must have been a very big bird too. I just got pummeled. The car got pummeled. But yes, it's running well. So thank you for asking. But I got to tell you, I was over there yesterday for half of got out there by 1, got home at 6. Yes, today got out there, 11, got home at 7. I'm not, but you're happy to help family, right? It's real fun because you feel a sense of accomplishment and the house is coming into focus and it's great. But, the old body, I'm suited to just sit on the couch on Saturday.
I'm tired just listening to you talk about those shelves in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
I said that just is exhausting.
Okay, if you don't think, and then I went up in the attic with a shop vac. Because I went up,
God.
Yeah, because I saw it. I go, you've got so much good storage up here, but they obviously put a new roof on. I don't know if you've ever had that.
I have.
When you get okay, so all of that little shingly crap comes into the attic area because they change out the plywood when if it's and there's brand new roof that was put on this home. It was in great shape for them to buy it. But I said, if I get up there with a shop vac, I can suck up all this stuff. And they also had spray, the spray foam type of insulation. Yes. Yeah, so there was all those little nubbies, and I was up there for a good 45 minutes just vacuuming away with a shop vac. So yeah, it was one of those days. I'm a little achy, Bob. A little achy.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
I'll take my day over yours. How about that?
Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But I do feel, I feel like I helped, and that's always fun. Although I'll tell you, it's interesting. They all think that I can build bridges. You want to talk? See, it may be rubbed off on them, the whole exaggeration thing that I do when I tell stories. You should hear it. Oh yeah, my dad, he can do anything.
That's right. He built our last house.
Yeah, he built it over a weekend, and he still had time to make a roast.
Right, while drinking with Bob.
Speaking of cooking, they got 2, not 1, but 2 new grills from Samantha's work. They heard she got and 2 different grills, a nice charcoal briquette grill and then a propane grill for their new house, a housewarming gift.
From Samantha's work.
Yeah, from where she works. All of her colleagues and coworkers and management there pitched in and bought them new grills for their new home.
But wait, the same group of people bought them 2 different kinds of grills?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what I said. Wow.
That's what you said? That's what I said.
Out loud. I know that's what you said.
You said it, though?
Well, when she told me at first, yeah, I said, wow.
Okay, that's what I said. Hey, man, guess what time it is? It's 6:18 and 58 degrees here in Henderson, Nevada. And it was a beautiful day today, a little windy at the peak, but lovely nonetheless. Robert?
57 here in
Ooh, we're
Peach
just a
State.
degree away.
Yeah. And then Stephen, I don't know what it is out in Layton. I'd have to look. Layton, Utah. He came up today. Oh, that's right. I told Kim the story about how you remembered he wanted to name dog Superman, and she didn't remember that. But I said,
You probably
I
didn't even
guarantee-
tell her.
Well, I
You
figured
probably
he
kept
would
it a
tell her.
secret.
Anyway, he because they have a dog named Crimson, Samantha and Kale. He's a big Alabama fan, and it's a gorgeous dog too. It's a black lab, just gorgeous. Puppy though, wow, big puppy, jumps on you, practically knocks your ass over. Big old dog, but nice dog, real friendly. And that's why they were working out in the yard, fixing a chain link fence, putting in a new gate so the dog can run and do its thing. And I was inside, as you know, stuffed into a closet.
What is its thing
What's
that you're
that?
referring to? You said the dog can go outside and do its
Oh,
thing.
running and 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 running.
Okay. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
much faster to say its thing than all those
Well,
runnings.
and you know what's interesting too is as Kale was talking about, I'm going to overseed and I'm going to do this and that in the backyard because the lawn. And I said, you realize this dog will run a track around that fence line, and you won't get anything to grow there. I don't care what you try to grow there. That dog will run and run. So just keep that in mind, that's coming.
right,
but at
before
least
you
he
get
gets out there
too attached to this idea, yeah.
that you're going to like put a golf course in the back there. No, man, that dog is going to run. And I said, but that's good because dogs need to run, and you have the yard, and how nice, and they have a fence, so that's good too. Because otherwise that dog would drive you nuts in the house. A puppy, and he's big, and he's just got energy. But yeah, there are so many things that they were doing today that I'm looking at going, been there with Bob, because we helped each other move several different times. Didn't we?
Yes.
Wow, that was depressing. Yes. Yeah, I can remember moving a couple different times with you. Although
Yeah.
not your last place, not the last place, the big fancy place. That was just done. I
That
didn't
was
have to
Mark.
do-
I think it was Mark the Movers, because price is
Yes.
what you pay and value is what you get.
What you get. I've got the picture. I should bring it up. I should put it in the lounge picture book, except now I can't share my screen anymore.
It obviously worked because here we are saying it like many years later.
So, but I remember going up those stairs at the second home. Your
I
second
know,
iteration of the lounge.
I know. This is the story that won't die.
No, it's not a bad story. It's just the whole Kirk thing, and then it was fun day, but then it got late, and alcohol was involved,
Right.
and that's
Get them all cut.
Get them all cut, man. I was thinking about that. I survived, and you're the only one who would say you like doing this. When I would have a
Oh, your
snoot full
anger
of my-
stuff.
yeah, and just wanting to pick a fight.
Yeah.
Just wanted to pick, but I never knew it until you. Well, I knew it, but for you to just like hold up the mirror like that and go, "You do this on purpose," and I'm not engaging.
Right.
And I thought
I so remember that night we were in the bar at my house
Yeah.
and looking at that remember that we had that bottle opener that would go on the wall. It was like a brass a head of some kind. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
a really, really nice bottle opener. And you went off on something, and I'm like, yeah, I just reached my breaking point. I was like, I'm done with this.
I'm so glad you did that too. That was a gift. I'm not kidding. I don't want to sound hokey, but what a
Well,
gift.
it's a
because-
risky thing because you could have been in a place where you went off, but it was all. Luckily, you were in that mode where you were like also listening, But I think it was just because I got real all of a sudden,
Well, it wasn't. I mean, you're the hero of this story. Believe me. So you can't like say, oh, I mean, yeah, I had never looked at it from that perspective on that level. You like it, and I thought that's true. Like all of a sudden, went,
So that's not the issue. It was just that nobody else does. Right. And I certainly don't, because I just don't, want to argue about stupid shit. But that was so long ago, man. That was so long. You haven't done that in a gazillion years.
Well, some of that has to do with the fact I haven't been into a liquor store.
Right.
I guess.
True. But you also stopped doing that. I mean, at least with
Yeah,
me.
I suppose we all get a little. I do now know as I've gotten older that I don't fry as many small fish. That's for sure. Things
Yeah.
don't ruffle my feathers
Oh,
like they did
yeah.
when I was 30 or 40.
Yes,
I don't give a rip.
It's lovely as those things just start to drop away.
They just go away. They just fit. In fact, and at work, it's real fun too because I will listen to friends, coworkers, obviously colleagues who are bright and talented, Bob, and yet they consume themselves with the politics of the building.
Hmm.
You know, and there's going to be politics everywhere. I love my job, and it's a great place. Don't just in case they're all watching.
Yeah, of course they gather around, big screen.
They
whatever.
gather around like.
They got that
Ralphie and
inflatable thing that
Orphan
they
Inn.
put in pools, and they've heated the pool,
Yeah.
and they're just all out there.
And then they
Hi,
they have
everybody.
one of those big screens. Hi guys. They have a big screen, and they're projecting it onto the screen as they have cocktails. But I watch them consume themselves with that, and I go, "What a gigantic waste of energy and effort! Nothing will change. What you are upset about will never." Ever change.
Right.
Not because it's here, but because it's human stinking beings. It will not change.
Human stinking beings. Oh, and that's where he locked up. And with those words, yeah, no. Sorry, I got a couple more. We're contractually obligated to go to the bottom of the hour.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We have to do that because, well, that's the
The
rules.
sponsors. It's all.
But
it
anyway,
always comes back to money.
Sure it does. Sure it does. And that's the whole point. You're PO'd about the politics of the office, but because they make too much or they're not sure or whatever. Yeah, they're going to put as much at that's human stinking beings, man.
Yeah.
I get it. So anyway, and the other thing I have found, as you say, as we get older, FOMO, no more, man.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up a second ago. Yeah, that's
No
the
more
part that
FOMO.
really,
What a joyous thing. What a gift.
I know.
But the only reason for me, I can't speak for anyone else. For me, the reason FOMO doesn't exist is because I say to myself, I've done it. I know I'm not missing anything.
Right.
did that
I
a
have
million
been there
times,
and done that, and no thank you. Right.
and it sucks. That's like when Oak said, do you want to go to Summerfest this year? This is years ago. And I go, I don't know, Summerfest. And he goes, yeah, there's a lot of people and it smells like urine and bad weed.
And there's questionable clowns everywhere.
Questionable clowns, and there's people vomiting in trash cans, and he goes, and there's a lot. Did I say there was a lot of people? There's a lot of people, and I go, he's right. I don't want to do that anymore. So that's not FOMO. There's no FOMO. I'm not missing a thing.
Right. You're just missing a lot of inconvenience and
Hey, let's all go out to the bar and drink all night. At $7 a beer, are you high? And at the end of the night, what did I do? I got to Uber home, and I didn't have. No, I'm going to sit and watch cable.
right.
I'm going to just let it wash over me. Or maybe I'll cook something, or maybe I'll read.
God,
Or into
that's
well, yeah.
craziness. You,
I know.
You don't even.
I
You
act-
don't even.
No, I don't read books, and I don't read any fiction, but I do read the paper, and I'll read op-eds.
The
and stuff
paper.
like
I read about it in the paper. Yeah, that's it. I saw it. I read about it in the paper.
Okay, Mr. Haha.
Well, I just saw that.
Well, it is the paper to me, even though it's on a computer screen. It's still the newspaper. The same people are writing there. It's just not physical.
There's
my dad
no paper. It's
No,
the
there is no
news.
Okay, fair enough, Bob.
Well,
Mr.
I'm just
Wordman.
saying is all. I don't read the news, period, in any form. So
No, I don't.
it
think that you
reads
don't.
me.
It's so funny. I was thinking about you the other day in that regard. This is a guy who does not give a rip about pop culture, about current political issues, sports, none. Wouldn't even, not only doesn't he know who won the Super Bowl, he didn't know this weekend was the Super Bowl. Like that, and
I
so
still
all
don't. I
this-
couldn't tell you who played it last time and who won. I couldn't tell you.
Right. And that's actually, in many ways, I reflect on that and I go, that's where you want to be, boys and girls. Just do your creative stuff to earn your living, and whatever free time you have, spend it the way you want to instead of consuming what you think everyone else will want to talk about in some social setting. Which is
Amen,
what I
bro.
did in college. I watched General Hospital for that very reason.
I watched it because I did genuinely get sucked into it.
Luke and Laura.
Yes. It was a big
Okay.
deal, and it was a big deal on our hall. It was my first year of college, and then when that was happening, and everybody would gather in the, whatever that common area is outside of the elevators, the lobby outside the elevators of that particular floor where there was a TV, and freaking watch the whole Luke and Laura thing.
GH.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped me because you could talk to then girls at parties or at the bar, because every girl, every woman, every young lady in college, they all watch GH. So yes, the Luke and you know what? I did get a little hooked, but not to the degree I think that you did. I did it
Okay. So wait just a cotton picking minute. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
And with those words, Rob Scott and Bob Doyle brought the Lounge Show to another inauspicious close. Join us next week, won't you? 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Lounge Show.
He was 5'0". He was maybe 5'1", and he was about 100 pounds. And he was the 98-pound wrestling champ in the state of Wisconsin. So the smallest weight class, he was state champ in wrestling. So what he could do from a physics point of view, like he backed down from no one. 6'4", 6'5", coming at him. He's a little 5 stocky, 5 foot nothing, and he would put his arm under the guy's groin and just lift, and the guy would tumble and plop right to the ground. It was awesome to watch, Larry.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
It's over. Go home. What are you
What are you
still
still
doing?
doing here?